Hey everybody, and greetings. It is I, your songwriting partner, your co-producer, and as always, your friend, Joe Seeby. And happy Thursday, guys. And Thursday is our class that we call Picture This. Picture This is when I give you an image, a photograph, any kind of image. It could be a painting, a drawing, a magazine photo, anything that, sparks my interest, and I give it to you guys. And your job is you create a chorus based on whatever that photograph is. I love this exercise. I think it's a great exercise. We do this all the time. We did it physically when we were at the studio too in Inglewood. For those of you who've never been there, we used to do this exercise there, and we wrote a lot of great songs based on using this method. I say this all the time, but it's so true. You're not always feeling inspired, and sometimes you need a shove or a push, or you need a little something to help you get to that place that you want to go to. And, everything, if you know how to tap into it, everything can be an inspiration, no matter what it is. Other songs inspire me. Other artists, movies, TV shows, even commercials sometimes. Commercials can spark something in me where I just go, oh, that's so cool. And it makes me think of something else, and all of a sudden I'll hear a song idea. Everything around us, whether we realize it or not, is an inspiration. And knowing how to plug into that is really important, because you can really look for inspiration at the most mundane things if you know where to look and how to look for it, like I have a very vivid imagination, and as a kid, I could stare at something. I didn't know I was doing Picture This then, but I would stare at something and I would imagine a whole scenario based on like a greeting card. I'd stare at a greeting card and be like, whatever the picture was, it was cool, and it made me think of the holidays. And, it might have been a Christmas card that I got from my grandmother. And, I would stare at it for a long time and then you go into these, daydreams. And that's what I love about this Picture This class, because, there's nothing worse than staring at a blank piece of paper and not knowing what you're writing about. See, this is giving you a basis for something to start writing about. There's so many ideas you could use, but like this picture, whatever the picture I give you, that picture will really kind of define where your story could possibly go. And I say this again all the time. There's no wrong way to do this. No matter what you see in that picture is right to you. Okay, so what I see in the picture might not be anything the same that what you see in the picture. And that's fine. That's really a good thing. That's the great thing about, art, is everyone's interpretation is so different. Like even when I play guitar over different chord progression, I used to do this with my friends when we were kids growing up. We were all guitar players. We'd sit in a circle, and somebody would play the rhythm, and then we'd all take turns doing solos. Everybody had such a different take on those chords. It was so amazing watching everybody, what they thought when they heard that chord progression, what solos they came up with and ideas and melodies. Used to so impress me watching my other friends, and they were such talented guitar players, great musicians. And so this is kind of the same thing. Like, there's we don't know what happened before this picture or after it, just that moment frozen in time. And then we go from there. And I look at a lot of images. So like, some really stand out in an artistic way. Some are, some tell really, to me, direct stories, just looking at the photograph. that really does take a lot of the guesswork out for you. And also, you could stare at anything if you're in a room with people. Like when I have to write with people, I have to write between this time and this time. I get a phone call. Hey, you want to write a song? I really need you to help me write a song. Sure. I'll be over at Thursday at 9:30. And can we write till like midnight? Sure. Yeah, come over. So between 9:30 and midnight, I have to lead that session, and I have to know what I'm doing. And I can't seem like I'm out of ideas and I'm just tapping my fingers going, oh no, what am I going to do? You have to know how to tap into that creativity when you need it. Now, even sometimes when I'm doing that, I don't feel super creative, but these are tricks, like I said, to help you get in that mindset so that you can write and be creative and find, something to start that idea off, right? Like I said, I was about to say, there's no wrong way to do this. Whatever the picture is, it could be a palm tree. You could have went to Hawaii, 10 years ago with your family. And, that palm tree with the ocean behind it makes you think about the trip you went to Hawaii with your family. And that's fine. Or you could write it about something totally unique, but base it on something real. I always like to base songs on something real, something that I have felt. You can use a real emotion to an imaginary circumstance, like the same you do with acting, same thing. So anyway, I'm going to show you the photograph that we based this on tonight. So without further ado, here is the photograph that I picked for tonight's Picture This. Have at it. Okay, so you saw the picture. It's a guy sitting by himself at what looks like a really nice kind of a dinner place or a restaurant maybe. But he's alone. Glass of wine, there's a candle on the table. He looks in deep thought and he looks alone. There's no one sitting at the table with him. So I stared at this picture and I imagined, here's what I imagined. I imagine this guy is a go-getter, works his ass off, always working, and has built this beautiful life for himself. But in the process, he lost the woman that he loved the most because he was so buried in his work. And now he finally has everything that he wants except her. This is real. This really happens to people sometimes. They get so lost in their own pursuits, they forget about the people over here that are really important, more important than the money, more important than the job and all the other stuff, okay? So I'm going to read you, that's the story I envisioned. And I tell you this all the time too. I want you to stare at this picture until you go into a daydream. When you pull out, I want you to write down everything that you saw in your mind when you spaced out. Write everything down, Write all the physical attributes of the picture. That might help you as well. Anyway, now I'm going to read you what I wrote for it. Everything you thought that you wanted, you took it for granted, and now you have nothing. That's the price you got to pay. Everything you thought that you needed, you begged and you pleaded, and now you're alone. There's nothing left to say. I'll read it again. Everything you thought that you wanted, you took it for granted, and now you have nothing. That's the price you got to pay. Everything you thought that you needed, you begged and you pleaded, and now you're alone. There's nothing left to say. Now, I wrote a melody to this too, so it's very rhythmic, and I'll show it to you on another date. But, so that is what I wrote to this. Anyway, guys, I can't wait to see what you write for this. That's all the time. We're out of time tonight. So anyway, I can't wait to see what you guys write for this exercise. Until we meet again, this is your songwriting partner, your co-producer, and as always, your friend, Joe Seavey. I love you guys. Be good. And I will see you next week. All right, guys. Love you all. Peace.